come forward. We've just got 3 combinations left to go, and the first of those is Tim Lips. Tim comes forward with Bayro, and this is a horse that actually saw him being crowned Dutch national champion at Boekelo last year, finished in 2nd place actually to another horse in this field, Sekatinka and Tim Price. But Tim, very experienced, been to 4 different European championships at 2 World Equestrian Games, including back in 2014 when winning a team bronze, and 3 Olympics as well. So he's one of the most experienced riders in the field.
Well, he had a very high score at Le Moulin last year, didn't he, in the 3-star, as I remember?
Yeah, he's very capable of putting in a good performance in the first phase, and actually Tim's best ever 3-star test came in this arena with this horse, but it was back in 2014, so 4 years ago. But they scored a score 34.2 on that day. That would translate to 22.8, which is exactly Oliver Townend's score. But they're trending above 70% here, Bettina, and producing some nice work.
It's definitely a nice hold here now.
One of the best holds we've seen today, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Score coming up for that hold now. That will be an important mark if it can push him down further. There we go, 2 8s and a 7.5. Putting them trending towards 2nd place at the moment.
Now, it would be interesting as well, because Oliver's on 22.8. Obviously, we've still got some big players to go, but if Tim could be within a fence of Oliver, that is a big point to note, Sam.
Big point to note. Big point as well is that my top 3 jumpers in the field, one would be Kilnabrad and Evo, the other would be Bayro. They are 2 of the best jumpers in the field, very consistent at this level. The other is actually the horse we've just seen, Samurai Defoe, as well. So as we mentioned earlier, it tends to be the people who produce the very good dressage tests also have they've such good training, is probably why they're performing so well, that they perform well in the other 2 phases as well.
Yeah, but I guess we do pick the horses now a little bit more for the jumping qualities as well. With the cross country being so intense and so technical, you do need to have a seriously good jumper now.
And I thought what we saw last week at Chatsworth was what made the time there. Piggy French produced such a lovely smooth round, and a lot of the training that goes on that we're watching here in the dressage, that the horse is obedient and listening and balanced and supple, that all comes into play even on the cross country course for doing those turns nice and smoothly, the transitions within the cross country to balance for a fence and to do it quickly and to move on. So it is all very connected.
Most definitely, the quicker and more efficient you can ride your lines, which you can only do with a very obedient and very well-trained horse, the faster you are, without using the horse's energy too much. It was a nice flying change. It was through. Obviously, judges thought it was a bit flat.
Well, he's still trending 27.7, so he's around 2nd at the moment. But he's not going to challenge the lead of Oliver Townend and Kilnabrad and Evo. It is still a very good score, and a combination who are good in the jumping phases. They actually jumped a really super clear round on the final day in Boekelo last year to put the pressure on Tim Price and Sekatinka.
Certainly doesn't look to be affected by the atmosphere at all. Different to some of the other horses we saw.
He's a 12-year-old horse, but he's an experienced 12-year-old horse. Yeah. As I say, I mean, they were here at Wiesbaden in 2014, so 4 years ago as an 8-year-old. So definitely good to have the experience across the sport, but also the experience of this arena before. And they are, I think they're gonna slip in ahead of Janelle and Julia at this point.
Certainly a very obedient test, I would say. Maybe movement-wise lacking highlights,
and
but definitely very obedient.
Should go into 2nd, trending 28.1. That's dropping down as well. So in 2nd at the moment, Cloud Dancer Janelle Price, 28.3 as things stand. So Tim Lips looking likely to go into 2nd, but not quite getting that pole buffer away from Oliver Townend, Sam.
Yeah, he'll be a difficult man to touch, but that was just a lovely, well-produced test. I think big submission marks coming in there is what you'd expect. The rider's done a great job as well, and
You can see a high level of training, which is what the judges will be looking at for the collective marks.
Well, I am here with Tim Lip. Tim, you had a great score yourself. Are you pleased?
Yes, I'm very pleased with Bayro. Yeah.
And looking forward to the next couple of tests and phases, what really do you think you can bring? What can you hope to achieve here?
Yeah, of course I had a good start now. My horse Bayro is normally also a good show jumping horse, so I'm looking forward to the jumping. And yeah, I think the biggest challenge for us is to go quick through the cross country.
Yeah, I mean, it's very close between the top riders. Barely a fence separates you all, so it's very important to keep the fences up.
Yes, of course, but I don't want to try not to be too busy in my mind with that and just to ride a nice show jumping round.
Okay, well done, Tim, and congratulations and good luck with the rest.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But now it is the reigning Dutch national champion, Tim Lips, and his longtime campaigner Bayro, 27.7, and again cannot afford a penalty to stay ahead of Julia Krajewski.
well, Tim has jumped in this arena with Bayro before, and they were clear in the show jumping on that occasion. They've got 7 clear rounds at this level of competition already under their belts. That's coming at a 78% clear jumping rate. That is a very, very clinical, very good clear show jumping rate for this level of competition. So one of the better jumpers in the field, and looking good so far.
Yeah, he's jumping really good at the moment. He's a rider with choose 10 strides to the second fence again, so hopefully he's experienced enough to know and to keep these lines tight. See what happens with the time when we get towards the end of the course. Jumping is looking very good. It's a difficult thing to say just as they jumping through the combination. Yeah, still good.
Tim, an experienced rider just in pure jumping as well. He does a lot of jumping. I'd expect him to take quite a tight turn here and come in quite tight to the ox, or maybe a little bit of an angle. No, he's going to get square. He's going to be very close to the clock.
Well, he's clear of the penultimate. I think the clock might just be okay. Tim Lips and Bayro sneaks inside, and it is clear round number 4 that goes to the Netherlands, 27.7, and Tim assures himself a podium place going forward to the cross-country, Sam.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that I'm gonna that Tim Price might have just caused me to make a mistake here, because I was saying to you earlier that there could be 6 clear rounds. We've had 4, we've got 2 to come, 2 of the better jumpers in the field. When Tim gave his interview before, and he thought it could have been a hole bigger, that he's seen it a couple, these tracks a couple of holes bigger in the past. So, but it's very much been reflected. We have seen quite a few rounds where they've jumped clear, but they've just been beaten by the clock.
Well, waiting down at the start in 3rd position, just being led into the start box, Tim Lips and Bayro, and they are away on course. So into the top 3 here, leg 2 of the Event Rider Masters. Well, the top 3 at the moment: Tim Price, Andreas Ossolt, and Ludwig Svennestal. Chris Burton still enjoying a spot on the podium while Andreas makes his way over there. He'll only enjoy it for a few moments longer. But coming to the first real question at 5, Tim Lips and Bayro.
Yeah, Bayro, an experienced horse at the level, only making the time once in this CIC 3-star format. I think they're going to struggle with the clock a little bit today, Nicole, so interesting to see how the leaderboard works out for them. We see Tim Lips also. They do look at that chicane a little bit again, whether it's the light playing its role or just a spooky fence, but we've got another one here. Jumps that one actually a bit better. So Tim, a very experienced rider as well. He's been on many championships, been to the Olympic Games, but he's got 69 CIC 3-stars on his record as well. Again, he made the time once with Bayro, but that remains the only time that they've beaten the clock. So interesting to see them in the Event Rider Masters here.
Well, Tim Lips and Bayro motoring on, and we'll come back to them in just a second, but Andreas Ossolt is going to head into second. Ludwig goes down to third, and Chris Burton will have to give up his spot on that podium. Well, Tim Lips and Bayro has 3 seconds in hand to go ahead of Julia Krajewski and Samurai Duteau, and he was 7 seconds down at the water.
Yeah, I had these guys probably for being in and around that 12-second mark over the time. It's just, I think you have to have an exceptionally quick horse. Tim Lips giving it action here. We are absolutely at the climax of this competition, Nicole.
We certainly are. Tim Lips, 3 seconds in hand, remember, to go ahead of Julia Krajewski as he comes to the SAP log. Swinging left-handed, very neatly cleared through there. So Tim Lips heads on towards home, and he's only got 1 minute and 30 to get back. Well, Tim Lips and Bayro. He's 35 seconds to get home through that combination as he heads up to the top of the arena, and just taking his time in the main arena. The clock is going to be very tight because he's 3 seconds in hand over Julia Krajewski, Samurai Duteau. He's not going to do it. Julia's going to stay at the top of the podium, and he comes round to the final fence. He should go into second on the leaderboard. Julia's going to take the top spot, and she's going to stay there for a little while, but 4.0 time penalties, 31.7. And Tim will go into second at the moment. So Julia Krajewski sitting at the top of the leaderboard.